This is major breaking news. It has just been banned in multiple US states, and this is going to change everything because this sets a precedent for other states to have legal ground to ban this as well, and it's going to spread. Hopefully, we actually want this ban to happen. This is actually something that I want banned personally, and something that I've been concerned about for years and years, and something I've been noticing. And now multiple US states are putting out official legislation trying to ban this stuff, and it's going to spread, all right? Because the wording that they're using in here is serious, and it's exactly what we've been talking about on here for years now, right? Been talking about these same topics of how the skies are being polluted right now and sprayed with this crap, and now multiple US states are trying to ban it. All right, I want you to look at these pictures that I took yesterday and have been taking the past few days. Look at these pictures. All right, the sun is being blocked out, the skies are being blocked out and polluted with these toxic chemicals that can potentially make acid rain. All right, they are spraying sulfur dioxide into the air, admittedly, and sulfur dioxide can react with water and sunlight in the atmosphere and create sulfuric acid and make acid rain. Okay, this is what's happening right now to our environment, and multiple US states are now banning these geoengineering techniques, these solar radiation modification techniques. All right, they have a bunch of different names. This cloud seeding. Okay, all these things are now up for grabs, and multiple US states are trying to ban these practices because they realize that they are releasing nanotoxic, potentially toxic nanoparticles into the air that we are breathing, we are getting into our bodies, and we do not know the full long-term side effects of having this nanoparticulate absorbed into our body, our bloodstream, into our airway passages, everything. All right, this could potentially pass the blood-brain barrier, these nanoparticulates, because they are so small, and that's what they're spraying, aerosolized nanoparticles into the air, and multiple US states are now banning it. So I'm going to read this legislation here because this is serious, and this confirms what we've known. We now have state legislators saying exactly what we've been talking about on this channel for years, and you guys have been warning of as well. You guys always give me tons of warnings whenever I make videos like this of what you guys see in your areas as well. This is nationwide, and it's actually global. All right, it's actually every single major industrialized nation on earth has a cloud seeding program and a solar radiation modification program, geoengineering program, whatever you want to call it. They all have these programs. China has it, India has it, Russia has it. All these European nations have it as well. Everyone has it. Everyone has it, and they're all cloud seeding. And why are they doing it? All right, so let's dive into this legislation here. Multiple US states. Let's get into the first state that is banning this crap from being sprayed into our atmosphere. All right, the first US state is New Hampshire, and the wording on this is intense, and it's real, and it actually crosses into electromagnetic radio frequencies and microwave radiation as well. They are tying all these things together. They're tying them all together in this official legislation for New Hampshire. All right, and then we'll get to the second state after this. But the first state that's banning this is New Hampshire. This is the House Bill 1700-FN. You can go look this up yourself. This was just introduced in the 2024 session, and this is being called the Clean Atmosphere Preservation Act. And I'm going to read you some of it. It says, prohibiting the intentional release of polluting emissions, including cloud seeding, weather modification, excessive electromagnetic radio frequencies, and microwave radiation, and making penalties for violating of such prohibition. It says the General Court finds that many atmospheric activities such as weather modification, stratospheric aerosol injection, and solar radiation modification and other forms of geoengineering involving the intentional release of polluting emissions harm human health and safety, the environment, agriculture, wildlife, aviation, state security, and the economy of the state of New Hampshire. All right, it is saying that it harms all those things. It is causing harm. It says they are using this as grounds to prohibit geoengineering and other intentionally polluting activities in New Hampshire's atmosphere and or at ground level. All right, that's the basis of the bill. All right, so this has been introduced in the New Hampshire House, and they're trying to ban geoengineering, weather modification, and it even went into excessive electromagnetic radio frequencies and microwave radiation. Why would they be banning these things together? Because these are pollutants, and these things amplify each other. When they are cloud seeding, they spray heavy metals and things, admittedly, like silver iodide. And silver is the most electrically conductive metal on Earth, even more than gold or copper. Silver is the top electric conductivity metal, and it could potentially be interacting with these radio and EMF and microwave frequencies that they're also trying to ban as well. And multiple states have also been trying to ban 5G. I made a whole video on that a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, how multiple cities actually are trying to ban 5G. I think it was a city in Connecticut, and they're saying that it's linked to health problems, and it is actually zapping the bugs. It's heating up the bugs, and specifically honeybees. It's heating them up too much and heating their bodies, and they can't maintain homeostasis, and they think that it's causing mass die-offs of insect populations. All right, and insects are a very base form of the food chain for birds, for a lot of other animals. They get their protein from insects, and I don't know about you, but insects populations have been way down. I've driven all over the country, and every year it seems like there's less bugs on my car. Every single year there's less and less bugs. And not to mention what this is doing to the food supply as well. This geoengineering, this solar radiation modification is blocking out the sun, which affects crop yields as well. It's also affecting the natural weather patterns. It's disrupting the normal jet streams and normal patterns because they are extracting so much moisture from certain areas and putting it into the atmosphere where it's not normally supposed to be. All right, they are injecting these clouds and causing precipitation and snow events, all these things, changing the natural weather patterns and jet streams. And now they are falling apart, they are collapsing, and that's affecting the rain for the crops as well. We are getting to a situation where they almost have to do this. It seems like there's no other way to have the natural weather patterns unless they are manipulating it. It seems like that is the point that we are very closely getting to, and it's very dangerous. All right, very dangerous. The slippery slope, we are falling right off of it when it comes to geoengineering and weather modification. All right, so what do you guys think about this? The other state that is also doing this is Texas. Texas is also trying to ban geoengineering and release of these aerosols in their atmosphere as well for very similar reasons. They're saying that it is damaging. They're saying that it is harming human health and safety, the environment, agriculture, wildlife, aviation, state security, and the economy of New Hampshire. All right, very similar things are happening in Texas as well, and they're trying to ban it. If more states get on board with this, and this is a bipartisan issue, everyone should be on board with this. We don't want this non-consent where we're just sprayed with this stuff whenever we want, and it's constant. It never ends. The sun is always blocked out, and it's just always this film over the sun. I don't want it anymore, and it might be rough at this point to even get back to a natural weather pattern because they might have disrupted them so much that it might take years for natural weather patterns to even reform once they stop doing this. All right, so this is everywhere. They're doing this worldwide, And what is the reason for this? What is the reason? Why are they doing this? And why are they releasing these toxic chemicals into the air? And it could be making people sick. This particulate in the air, breathing it in constantly. I even me personally, I've noticed where when it's really heavy, I'm feeling it. And it's getting on our food. It's getting in the water. It's seeping down into the well water. It's acidifying the ground. These chemicals are getting into our topsoil. They're getting into the vegetables that we're growing. They're getting into the grass that the cows are eating. It's all in the corn that the cows are eating. Everything, it's just infecting our food supply as well. Any type of particulate that we are releasing at this mass scale, it's going to have an effect on our food supply. And it could be very negative. We could see reduced yields, and it could be causing droughts as well. It could be making things even worse in the summer times and making things even hotter, right? We really don't know what these releases of these aerosols are doing. And I always thought that it was bad to release aerosols because it's making a hole in the ozone or something like that. You remember that? Be careful with aerosols. Now they're just blasting the skies with aerosols 24/7. 24/7. None of it makes sense. I want to know what's really going on. And I think it's very interesting that they also mention excessive electromagnetic radio frequency and microwave radiation. And there's all these theories about HAARP, which is the most powerful radio frequency ionosphere heater on planet Earth. Admittedly, they use powerful radio frequencies to heat the ionosphere, and they can create artificial aurora with radio frequencies from antennas from HAARP. They can excite the electrons in the sky and ionize them with radio frequencies with HAARP. Okay, so what else do you think they can do around the world with weather modification, having this entire antenna system broadcast all over the world? Okay, this 5G and cell phone radio tower and satellite system that's constantly, we don't know what's going on. I'm not claiming that I know exactly what's happening, but it's very suspicious, and there needs to be more investigations and looking into it. And this is the first step. I've been saying this, that we need to have the evidence, and they need to start banning this geoengineering, because this could be ruining people's homes. They cloud seeded a hurricane in California last year. Okay, remember that bomb cyclone that hit California, and there was all that flooding in San Francisco? They cloud seeded that bomb cyclone in California. Admittedly, I made a whole video on it showing the documents and everything. And then a few months later, there was a big hurricane in Florida, 6 months later, 7 months later in the hurricane season, and Biden went down there and he slipped up and he said that the government is going to make these weather events more extreme. He said he's going to use, and apparently it was a slip up. I made a whole video on this, how he said they're going to use the full force of government to make these weather events more extreme. That's what he was saying. And apparently it was just like a Freudian slip or whatever, but why would he say this? Why would he say, he said we're going to use the full force of government to make these weather events more extreme. Hit it up down there if you remember that video, because this is part of it, guys. This is real. They're doing this, and it needs to be banned on a federal level as well. Mexico actually banned cloud seeding and geoengineering. Mexico did. They also banned GMO corn, right? Mexico's banning this stuff. But in the US, we just get it all. We just get it all dumped on us. All the poison, all the chemicals, all the nanoparticles, all the GMOs, all of it gets poured into our food system and our water supply. So please hit it up for me down there to help get this video out. People need to know that this stuff's real, this stuff's going on, and there actually is a pushback. Certain states are pushing back, and we need to support these bills that are being passed because things can change. This could change everything. This could be a spark effect. This could be a snowball effect